Against York City was just 16 minutes old when the fans' anger and frustration with the Albion hierarchy spilled over from the terraces and onto the pitch. Within minutes, a couple of thousand fans were involved. Most were peaceful, though some were not. All were deaf to the pleas of the match announcer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is no way to save your club.
Both sets of goalposts were quickly destroyed, making the abandonment of the game inevitable. But for another hour, fans refused to leave, many ripping up souvenirs, clearly believing they'd seen the last ever game at the Goldstone, the club's home for almost a century.
The penalty's booked and admission 1 penalty. Sad day for Brighton, but...
Get out that way.
The fans' anger was targeted at those who run the club.
All season we've stayed quiet, we've hoped that somebody would do something, but in the end, direct action's only the only way.
But it's pathetic that we've had to come to this, but nothing else can do.
However, the majority of the 10,000 fans hadn't joined in the pitch invasion and were annoyed with those who had.
We pay £3.50 to get in and all these people run on the pitch. It's really stupid. Goalpost, so we can't watch anymore. We've wasted our money completely.
An hour and a quarter after the trouble started, the ground was finally cleared and staff were left to assess the damage. But the fans were in better mood the following morning when, just outside the Goldstone ground, former manager Liam Brady held a press conference to reveal his part in a mystery consortium trying to buy out the club's chairman and majority shareholder Bill Archer.
After what has happened yesterday, he can see what this club means to the people of Sussex. And we are hopeful that after what's happened yesterday and that plea for help, he will not say no.
But within hours, Mr. Archer had said no, leaving the club an uncertain future. If they agree to pay £480,000 to the ground's new owners by noon tomorrow, they can stay at the Goldstone for another year. But it may take longer to find a new permanent home, so the club may still have to ground share in a year's time. If Liam Brady's consortium is allowed to come on board, the Goldstone ground will remain the Albion's home for another year. But a new stadium would still be needed, although Brady's bunch would at least have some popular support. If there's no leaseback arrangement with developers Chartwell, the Goldstone ground will be demolished at the end of May.
Well, outside the Goldstone ground at the moment is our reporter Beverly Thompson.
Thanks, Harry. We're joined here by Eleanor Ellison, who was unfortunate enough to be injured here on Saturday while she was watching the match. Eleanor, describe to us what exactly happened.
Well, I was with my daughter in the North Stand, and it was about a quarter of an hour after the main pitch invasion, and a whole bunch of people came over to the North Stand and very aggressive and started ripping the goal to pieces. My young daughter ran down in tears to plead with them to stop, and I could see that these were people you didn't plead with. They were very aggressive, as I say, and I went down to pull her away, and this guy just jumped over the wall and without warning just headbutted me and knocked me out, and I was stretchered off to hospital.
Now, you've been a lifelong supporter of this club. Was there any justification in the protests you saw here Saturday?
Not at all. I mean, we thought there was going to be some kind of protest, maybe similar to the one last week. The genuine supporters would go on the pitch, make their point and then come off. But, you know, you could tell these weren't genuine supporters, the majority of them.
Well, Liz Costa, you are the official representative of many of the supporters that come to the Goldstone ground. Can you see any justification in the way they behaved on Saturday, or some of them behaved?
Absolutely none whatsoever. But, you know, there's absolutely no excuse for violence. We totally condemned it. I mean, as Eleanor said, we fully accepted that a demonstration was going to happen and was necessary under the circumstances. There are an awful lot of very, very angry supporters.
Clearly they're frustrated. What are the fans looking for at this present moment in time?
Well, as of today, we're looking for the saviour of the club, because if the deal isn't signed tomorrow, we really don't know if we've still got a football club.
Now, we're getting some reports from the Football League. These are just reports at the moment, I stress that they may be prepared to do some kind of deal with Brighton Hove Albion if they, for example, allowed the club to go to Fratton Park on a ground share for 2 years, but made them put £1 million or so bonds aside. Would that be satisfactory?
Well, it seems rather ridiculous to spend out £1 million, which is, as I understand it, a non-refundable amount, when we could stay here for £500,000 and retain the goodwill of the people in the town and the local supporters, because if we go to Portsmouth, I cannot see the support remaining for very long.
Liz, that's where we have to leave it. Thank you both for joining us. From here, back to the studio.
More football and the rest of the...
Good.